The air tastes of green things that have never known fire. Tail, the forward scout, lies flat on the ochre earth, the scent of damp soil and unfamiliar pollen filling his senses. For 2 generations, his people have followed the memory of ice. A slow retreat that has now delivered them over and bridge of frozen graveland into a new world. This is the culmination of a journey that defines their hominid history. A relentless push into the unknown. The wind that combs through the tall, alien grasses carries no scent of rival clans. No trace of smoke from distant camps. It carries only the musk of animals. Great, slow, and unafraid animals. Below him, a herd of short-faced horses grazes. Their coats a shaggy pattern of brown and cream. They are close enough for a well-thrown spear, yet they do not startle. One lifts its head, its dark eyes regarding him with a placid curiosity, and then it returns to its meal. This is the unnerving miracle of this place, a truth the clan is still learning to trust. The Pleistocene megafauna here live in a state of grace, an innocence his people lost thousands of years before humans like them arrived to teach the world fear. 2 days ago, it was a family of giant ground sloths, their shaggy forms tearing branches from trees with an indifference that was both terrifying and tantalizing. They ambled past the hunting party, their weapons clenched in their hands, had simply watched, their own primal fears warring with the dawning, predatory comprehension. The story of early humans is one of constant adaptation, but this requires an entirely new mindset. The leader, Terakai, moves up beside Kale, his feet making no sound. He does not look at the horses. His eyes are fixed on the horizon, on the line of terror. Numbering shapes that move with the deliberation of shifting hills. Mammoths, a dozen of them, their curved tusks scraping the sky. The old stories spoke of such creatures, but to see them here, no, is like seeing a myth walk out of the dreaming time. These are the architects of this land, the gardeners of this vast, untamed Eden, and they do not know what a hunter is. This is the moment the accumulated wisdom of their Homo sapiens lineage converges into a single, sharp point of understanding. The fear is there, a cold stone in the gut, but it is overshadowed by a calculating hunger. Terakai slowly unhooks the spear from his shoulder. He tests its weight, the familiar balance of the shaft, the lethal perfection of its fluted clover's point. He then reaches for the throwing board that gives their spears the speed of a striking snake. Theatered, he and the others exchange a look. It holds no glory, only a grim calculus of risk and reward. This world offers a bounty beyond imagination, but it must be taken. The hard choice is not whether to hunt, but how to begin the great and terrible work of turning this garden into a larder. The hunt is a symphony of practiced violence. It does not begin with a charge, but with a patient, intelligent choreography honed over 1,000 kills. They choose a young mammoth, strong but not yet wise, that are straight to the edge of the herd. The fastest runners create a diversion, a flashing of limbs and sharp cries that draws the attention of the matriarch, while 2 others, hidden downwind, ignite bundles of dry grass. Fire is a language every creature understands. Smoke, thick and acrid, billows towards the herd, sowing confusion. The target animal, separated in the panic, is driven towards a pre-selected ravine. The ground gives way. It bellows, a sound of terror and rage, as it slides into the waiting trap of mud and broken earth. Now, the hunters close in. This is the moment their ancient tools become extensions of their will. Spears, launched with the tremendous leverage of the athlete, arc through the air. The finely crafted clover's point is a masterpiece of primitive technology, designed not merely to pierce but to slice, to create a wide channel that will not close, ensuring a swift and catastrophic loss of blood. The river of red begins here. The work that follows the silence of the kill is a testament to their community. Every member of the clan descends upon the fallen giant. The children, wide-eyed, watch the older boys who are now learning the precise angles to Eflen's hide from muscle. The women, with their razor-sharp flint blades, work with an efficiency that leaves no part of the animal to waste. They carve mountains of meat, render fat into tallow, and scrape the great hide that will become shelter and clothing. Pierre, once filled with the beast's panic, now hums with the sounds of labor, of shared purpose. For weeks, the camp is a place of plenty. Fires burn day and night, smoking endless strips of meat. Laughter comes easier. The children are strong, their bellies full. This is the peak of their existence. A moment in prehistory when their intelligence and cooperation have granted them dominion. The surplus of food reinforces the deepest bonds of altruism. The best cuts go to the elders who hold the stories, and the nursing mothers who carry the future. Yet, a subtle poison seeps into their prosperity. Cherokee stands on the ridge where Kel first scouted this land of plenty. He looks out, and the land is not the same. The herds of horse are gone from this valley. The giant beavers have abandoned their dam on the creek. The silence is deeper. The hunters must walk for 2 days now to find the great herds, which have grown wary, their ancient innocence shattered. The relentless success of his people has led to a creeping extirpation, hollowing out the landscape around their camps. The story of human evolution is one of solving problems. But they have solved the problem of hunger so completely that they have created a new one, a problem of emptiness. The triumph of the hunt no longer tastes as sweet. It is followed by a longer, quieter walk home through a world that is beginning to echo with the ghosts of their own feasts. What does it mean to be the undisputed masters of a silent world? The question hangs in the smokeless air. A thought too new and too frightening to be given a voice. The hunt is now a pilgrimage of hunger. For 10 days, Cherokee party has walked east, following the ghost memory of abundance. The land is a canvas of immense, heartbreaking beauty, but it is a silent canvas. The earth no longer trembles under the weight of titans. The air no longer carries the low rumble of a moving herd. Their journey is a study in archaeology before the fact. A search for signs of a life that was here only a season ago. The tracks they find are old, their edges softened by wind and rain. The great wallows are dry and turning back to grass. What their human ancestors mastered was the art of the kill, but they never had to learn the art of restraint. The very concept was alien. An animal was meat, the walking larder, and you took it when you could, for the lean times were always coming. But they had brought the lean times with them. This is the grim paradox of their unmatched skill, a victory that has consumed the spoils. Cal finds it first. Not a mammoth, but the consequence of their absence. A grove of young aspen, once kept in check by the constant browsing of the great beasts, now grows in a thick, impassable briar. The game trails that once acted as highways through the dense undergrowth are disappearing, choked with new vegetation. He sees a profound shift in the ecosystem. A chain of events he can feel but not name. It is a trophic cascade. The unraveling of a world that was woven together by the giants they so systematically removed. Without the mammoths to churn the soil and clear the forests. The very shape of the land is changing. Back at the camp, a new kind of council is held. One born not of opportunity but of quiet desperation. The old ways are failing. The hard choice is no longer where to hunt, but how to live. Do they march on, chasing a dwindling dream across a continent, or do they stay and become something new? The world makes the choice for them. The wind from the north begins to bite with a new and savage cold. The sun seems smaller, its light weaker. The long summer they had known gives way to a sudden, brutal chill. The onset of the younger dryers. A climatic rush across the face of the planet. Snow falls in a season when berries should be ripening. The question of mammoths becomes moot. Survival itself is now the only quarry. And so, they adapt. Their focus shifts. The elegant, fruited points designed for thick hides are reshaped. The hunters learn the ways of the bison, a creature of speed and herd panic. A far more dangerous and less rewarding prey. They gather more roots, set snares for smaller game. Their very identity as giant slayers. The foundation of their stories and their pride is buried under the necessity of the now. They have survived their own success. They have endured, but they are now smaller people in a smaller world. forever haunted by the echoes of the giants they erase. We zoom out, from the flickering fire of a single clan to the continent they have conquered and impoverished. Their story is not one of evil, but of a biological inevitability. The arrival of Homo sapiens in this hemisphere was an extinction event, a quiet apocalypse delivered one spear thrust at a time. The survival skills that had carried them across the roof of the world proved a perfect foil, and that had never known such a predator. Within 1,000 years, a blink in the eye of ancient Earth, the giants were gone. The mammoths, mastodons, the saber-toothed cats and giant sloths all vanished, leaving behind only bones and a profound silence. This was the tragic cost of victory, the first and perhaps greatest testament to humanity's power to irrevocably reshape the planet. Their triumph left a wound in the ecosystem that has never fully healed. They secured their future by erasing a world, a pattern that their descendants would replicate with ever greater efficiency. And as we stand in the quiet forests and wide plains of that same continent today, we must ask ourselves, has the echo of that first great silence ever truly left us? This is the Chronicle. We do not judge the river, we only follow its course to the sea. What happens when the hunter becomes the hunted?